There you go.
There
we go.
Now it's official.
Yes. Thank you for that again, Marion.
You bet.
So I am gonna just do some introductions. What we have, Ruth, this is our second call, and so is Maureen is also her second call. So just so everybody can be
Great.
everybody. So on my screen, I see Marion Bieber first. And I'm sure all of you know Marion. She's our VP of marketing and write our newsletters and edit them and graphics and websites. And
Beautiful.
we talk on a daily basis.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
And then we have Maureen, who's a newer member, and Maureen deals with homelessness, getting people in shelters, dealing with the mindset. She has a whole village of things that she's doing with really care about getting people off the street. And she's also our writer for this article and came up with the word Sisu. Did I say it correctly, Marion?
Sisu. Or Sisu, yes.
Sisu.
I just put it in the chat window for everybody.
All right, Sisu. And we're gonna talk about that in a minute. And she's doing some phenomenal things. And Marion is in Arizona and Maureen is in Pennsylvania, correct?
Yes.
Yes, got it right. Okay. So then we have Joanne. And I thought about you, Joanne, for this word too. And I'll come back to that later. For Sisu. I said it right?
Sisu.
Disu?
Sisu. Like you see Sue running down the street.
Oh, Sisu.
Sisu.
Okay, I got it now. Sisu.
We got it.
Okay. Oh, Sisu. Sound like you were giving me a D. I'm going like, what? I'm missing something. Sisu. That was the easy way to say it. Some of the words we get tongue-tied that Marion come up with, but they're very inspiring.
Well, Maureen gets the credit on this one. She came up with the word.
That's brilliant. We'll find out why too in a minute.
Yes, but it was under pressure from Marion to come up with a word. I'll tell you about it.
Okay, that sounds good. Sometimes pressure is a good thing. Good pressure and bad pressure. Okay. So Joanne is in the Houston area. She's in outside of Houston.
Tomball, Texas.
Yes.
Yes.
And as you know, Joanne sends out the cards and welcome people and make calls for PWIC globally. And Joanne I met Joanne through Landmark Education, and I shared this a couple of times, we were on break. We were in the kitchen area, the break room. And I shared with Joanne the vision I had with pulling women together and making a difference in the world before I started.
Yep.
And it was just a vision, and now we're doing some phenomenal things. So
I'll tell you, it was
as you know, as most of you know, Joanne wrote a book on forgiveness that was endorsed by Desmond Tutu.
Yeah.
That's the part I thought about today with this book, but we'll come back to that. And then we have Ruth. Ruth is in the Bay Area. Where are you by the airport, Ruth?
Yes, I'm at Foster City, like San Mateo,
Foster City.
Yes.
Yeah, right outside of San Francisco. And Ruth has a project that she's been doing successfully and doing some phenomenal things. Changed the lives of how many people?
17,000 children in the last 23 years.
Yeah, and in China.
In China, but starting 2019, we have expanded to Myanmar And 2022, we expanded to Thailand and Cambodia.
That's
And the
beautiful.
reason is we are being persecuted by Chinese government starting 2019.
Wow.
You know, so I smelled something bad. I said, oh my God, I have to build another nest. I cannot put all my eggs in one basket. And I'm glad I did, because right now I'm not afraid of the Chinese government for kicking me out any second, and they will, okay? But I'm not leaving voluntarily, because I still have about 7,000 children in China,
Yeah.
and I cannot abandon them, you know.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
just going to hang there until the government throw me into the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, you sound like Ruth, one of our members too, and Ruth went to jail. Sorry she's not on the call today, but she went to jail fighting for civil rights. And in
I
jail,
tell you, now, like last
Yeah.
year, I went back to China after 3 years of COVID. Before I went, I told my daughter, I said, if you don't hear from me in more than 24 hours, call Nancy Pelosi.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but then my donor told me, one donor said, Ruth, you are a small potato. They're not going to arrest you, you know. And then he said, oh, no, you are less than a small potato. You are a dust. If they're going to put somebody in jail for political reason, they will find somebody more, you know, more influential, such as a reporter or a big CEO or something. He said, don't worry about it. I said, you are right. But I just want to be prepared. You know, maybe there's a 1 in a million chance.
Got
you
it.
know, the Chinese communists will put me in jail. I don't know. I mean, everything
And you're ready
is
to fight
possible.
for it. Yeah, that's your passion.
That is my
That's amazing.
passion.
I really appreciate that.
Yes, and I'm into meditation. So when they put me in jail, it's a good time for me to meditate. Just sit there and meditate. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
This sounds great. Yeah, I was saying that they put Ruth in jail when she was younger. Carol Ruth.
I see.
Yeah, and for fighting for civil rights, and while she was in jail, that was
Yes.
it's so hilarious. She
Yes.
stole documents from the jailhouse to show what they were to show what they were doing, the wrong things they were doing, and then wrote a book about it.
Wow.
Good for her.
Wow. Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
Good for
that's
her.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we have our renowned and our new member. I know you're not a new member. I know you've been with us for years. I'm talking about you, Mary, but you look like 20 years different. It's just amazing. I want that
It's
health
amazing.
regimen, whatever you're doing. She's lost 50 pounds this year, in a year. And yeah, you look amazing. I'm gonna come to North Carolina and follow you. So Mary has a high-end online magazine, and she connects with world leaders. And I think, well, everyone doesn't know that, but she connects with world leaders who are making an impact, with ambassadors and queens around the world, and commanders and people who are making a huge difference to help them make an even bigger impact, like our our motto, making a bigger impact. So
now
okay,
I know my daughter know who to call. We call Mary.
Oh.
if she go to jail, Mary, she'll call you.
Yes.
There you go. I actually have somebody for that.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
During the war, Israel, when Israel went to war, we had one of our clients that got stuck in Jerusalem, and my business partner called me and said, "Do we have anybody that can help?" And I said, "Yes, we do." And I called the wife of the person I knew could help, and she said he's packing as we speak, because I knew he was going over. And within 2 days, he was at that house where this family was, and starting to work on helping to get them out. So you never know when people like that are going to come in handy.
That's so true.
I have a
That's so
diverse
true.
network.
Yeah, it feels really good to have those kind of connections, and with each other we do. We had a family in New Orleans who we were trying to get into our house before Christmas, and I sent this email to, shared it with some of you. And it was the night before, the weekend before Christmas, and Christmas was that Monday, I believe. And she couldn't get her lights on because of past due bills, and we were trying to get her in her house. And so I called a friend of mine who was she was the assistant to one of the United States senators. And I said, we have a family, we're trying to get in the house in New Orleans. I said, we were looking for a Christmas miracle, and it was after 5, like 6, 7 o'clock. And so she texted me back. She called the president of the energy company. The president called her team, and late that night, around 10 o'clock, her team called her and got everything done. I'm going like, yes.
Wow.
That's the kind of connections that we have through, because of the work we're doing. We're saving lives. So, well, anyway, and Mary is in North Carolina, where I'm going to be visiting to get her health regimen. And then we have Connie in Florida. Connie deals with veterans. She has put together a village, and it could also be going to, this could be used for homeless, those people running from human trafficking, and just to give them a place and all of the resources they need. And Connie told me, and I didn't know this, and I don't know if it, any of you knew, that a lot of the veterans go into the forest to live.
Yes.
So they help get them out of the forest, and I had no idea. They just like lost. So thank you for all the work you're doing, Connie.
Well, actually, the forest nature is one of a fabulous way to help mental health, scientifically based, tons and tons of documentary. So the villages that we want to create will have nature surrounding them, because you just don't abruptly put them in, on concrete and noise and all that, because they need the brains to settle down. But it's not just for veterans traumatized, but seniors. If for us, if we go and we get with nature, on walks, etc., at least 10 minutes a day, it makes such a difference in our ability to handle different stress, etc. It goes to the part of the brain that really needs that nature.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you so much. And Connie's in Florida, if I didn't say that. So next we have Janet Jett. I like that name, Janet Jett. Janet Jett is on the team with Love Never Fails. Vanessa is the founder, and Vanessa couldn't be with us today. And so they work with human trafficking. They have done amazing things: housing, education, helping them get on track, helping them to heal, and expanding what you're doing constantly. It's just amazing, all of the connections and all of the lives that you made a huge difference with. And they have a whole big team of people. I saw some of your pictures. So thank you. And she's in Oakland, California. Oh, thank you so much for all that you're doing, and happy that you're on the call. Then we have Irma. Irma, I thought about you a few days ago as I was putting together the New Orleans, working on our New Orleans project and the presentation for that. And I don't know, you just came to my mind with the work that you're doing. So Irma is in Patty. She's in Paris. I'm going to be visiting that too. I'm coming back to Paris. I love Paris. Look just so much like New Orleans.
Yes.
So Irma is retired from UNICEF. And she also, and I saw her some videos. I was looking for her picture because she was out of pocket at the time. I couldn't get her, looking for pictures. So we Googled it and saw her speaking at the United Nations, and she was really into it too. So this girl was so impressed with you. Like, don't play with me. I'm talking to you people. Irma deals with world leaders on behavior problems with the world. She was one of the key people talking to world leaders on what to do for COVID. And she's a consultant, and she has such a big heart for people. She also taught at Tulane University in New Orleans for a spell. So yeah, and thank you for being on the call, and thank you for all the work you do, because people need to know how to behave, and they need those answers that you help provide. So thank you for doing that. There's something else I thought about when I was writing that. But thank you, and thank you for all the input you've given me too. So ladies, I know we're taking a while doing the introductions, but I'm having so much fun.
Very good.
Who you
Good.
are. And I
Yeah.
love this. I love the word that you came up with, sisu. So Maureen, tell us about that word and why did you come up with that word? And I want everyone to listen for who you are in your lives so you can share. But go ahead, Maureen. I'm gonna just sit back.
Yes. Well, when you first asked me to come up with a word to be for this next article that was going to come out, the first word that came to my mind was resilient. It's just something that's just it's just always in my mind. And so when I mentioned that to Mary, and she said, "Oh, well, that's a really good word, but now we have to find a bigger word to describe that. We need to use a bigger word." And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, a bigger word. And I went through and I Googled all the words, and there's just nothing there's words that they just didn't mean anything. So I come up with, not to be, disrespectful to Marion, but I came up with a smaller word, and that word was grit. And because that's just been a part of a lot of the work that I do. I look at what I've done and people and everything, and I like the word grit. I thought, oh dear, I can't give that word to Marion. She'll be very upset. So I searched and I searched and I searched. And so this is a new word for me too, that I came up with, but I love the idea of this word. It's a Finnish word, and it's really kind of an ethos word. It doesn't really have an exact interpretation, but if you look at all the things that fit under resilience or grit or whatever you want to call it, this really is a new word that I never heard of, because Marion said we all like to learn new things in this group. So that's kind of how I came up with it, but it's really a powerful word. And this whole exercise of doing this just put me on a path of past reflection. It was therapeutic. It was upsetting. It was research. And so that's kind of how I found the word, just a lot of research, in looking for a bigger word. I found the smallest word you could come up with, but it seems to be, people are talking about it. And so going back to how I tied it to, resilience, when I started going down the path of this word and thinking back in my life, how it's just been a part of my life, people I know, work that I've done. And then I also wanted to tie it back to this group, because this is just my second meeting, but I have had I have meetings off, other phone calls and things with women in the group. And as I listened to your stories is just like absolutely amazing to me and humbling. And I think everyone that is talking today and is part of this, that is what has kept them going too. And I think that, and that's what, as I'm just even listening today, I wish each one would take a whole day and present just who you are and what you do, because to me, it's absolutely amazing. So that's kind of how I came up with the word. It was a challenge to meet Marion's expectations.
Oh,
Yeah, so however you want to say it, it doesn't matter to me because I never heard of it before. But I love it. I love it. It's just so compact. But the fact that if you researching it, and then I would just do all kinds of research on the finish, and it was just amazing. So yeah. So but
You do
this group
great.
does cause you to think. So I love it.
So
Yeah.
in that, with the word, Maureen, what did you see that in your life through your writing and through your researching and what you've done, that it really kind of called out to you, something that you remembered or seeing yourself in the role of Sisu?
Well, again, when I looked it up, and based on what I was looking for another word for resilient, and then I came across this word, and it really just embodied everything that you think of, from being able to overcome things, being able to move forward, and that you never stopped giving up, and you never looked at anything as a failure. You looked at it as an opportunity to move forward, and everything that you do is just propels you to move forward and survive and go forward. And I think what I look for in people, and what I'm attracted to, I guess, or what I recognize in people, is like someone that when you hear their story or know what they've done, what they've overcome, but they never feel like they are a victim. And I think that is a very, very important part of anyone here. I'm sure everyone has had ups and downs to whatever degree we can imagine or not. That I think no one ever felt like they were a victim. You just kept on moving. You didn't, I wasn't planning on it, but I got into a lot of personal stuff, because I guess with that, I was trying to point out, and I'm not going to go through it now, you can read it in the article, that it was just like, this is something that I identified with as a 6-7-year-old child, that this is just what I saw just within my family circle. And then from there, so it's just been, this concept has just been a part of my life. And then whether it was in teaching, or working in any job that I had, and the people that I work with, and the children that I work with, and the homeless women. And right now I'm at a 24/7 emergency shelter, and as I'm looking at the people and as I get to meet with them, they're still hopeful, and that's why they come to us, so that we can help them move on. And but they're not, by coming to us and looking for help, shows me they're not giving up. And when I hear their stories and everything that they've overcome, so in this has been a thread throughout my whole life, and I just feel that it's probably very much the same for all of you. And yeah, and I guess anytime I watch a movie or read a book, I love a movie where somebody overcame something, and that's where I just want to get up and cheer, and that I'm just drawn to that, and I don't know, yeah, I'm just drawn to that.
Yeah, one of the things that I saw through reading your article is that everyone on this call was born for that purpose, and you do it with such calmness, as in the word said. It's stoic, like it's courageous, a courage that's just innate, just in you, and you do it, and you don't even realize the power of who you are. Like, you are not the norm. Thank goodness. We're dealing with a lot of abnormal people, and I love it.
We wear that badge proudly.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and I
Yes,
think
we
that,
do.
yeah, I think that's an
So,
interesting point. It's just who you are, and that's exactly what this word also meant philosophically, it is just who you are. It is what that culture was. But for us to take it to a personal level, it's just who you are. You don't think about it. You don't think about yourself as doing anything, above and beyond. It's just who
Yeah,
you
it
are.
just happens.
Yeah.
There's just something in you. Like Ruth was saying, I'll go to jail.
Right,
I'm not
right.
worried about the government. That's just something in you. There's a fight. And so, I watched the movie Alice in Wonderland with my grandkids. The new one with the lady with the big head. I don't know if you've seen it, but the lady who took the queen, and because she was an evil queen, but she had this really big head, so but Alice in Wonderland, when she realized who she was and she started to fight the dragon, and she went to the top of it went to the top of the hill, the mountain that they had, a house or whatever that was, but she was at the very top, and she just sliced off his head. Like, everybody can't do what you all do. There's something in you that's just innate, that you cut off the dragon's head. Like, you're warriors, you're fighters, you're calm, and you might look like, normal people, but you're not. You have something present in you, so a power in you that comes from God, and he know that you can handle the situations you're in. And sometimes we don't like it, but we go through it. So I'm so honored to be on the call with all of these powerful people that could take that sword and just, you fighters. I keep telling you, ladies, you have to go and get your Matrix outfit, the sunshades and black coats. We should come to the call like that.
Not dominatrix.
Yes. Yeah. So know who you are. So Marion, would you read the meaning of the
Yes.
word?
Yes, it's a Finnish word that describes stoic determination in the face of adversity, tenacity of purpose, grit, bravery, resilience, going beyond our mental or physical capability in the face of extreme adversity, even when it seems absurd to do so, when you are challenged beyond your self-perceived limits.
That is amazing. That is a lot of different definitions, as you said, Maureen. That's really a great word to describe all of you and who you are. Heroes. So when you're reading, those of you who read the Bible, of all of the people, all the women that were in the Bible, and like Harriet Tubman and those people that you've heard in history, that's who you are. That's who you are. Those people that can be written about. And that's really inspiring. So when hearing that word and what we talk about, Mary, what do you think about of your life and yourself that Sisu resonate with you and who you are?
I think personally in my life, it's the health challenges that my husband faces. And the first one was the first situation that we were facing after he was diagnosed with a prognosis of 3 to 6 months to live. And he's already outlived that. That was about 3 years ago, when it was presented to me that there was a client of mine that actually had a potential, not solution, but at least a step for him to take, which was a stem cell therapy. And I gave him that option. When he decided to take it, we had 4 days to get ourselves organized with all the legal paperwork, meaning the, healthcare power of attorney. I didn't have any of that. Living will, health power. I didn't have any of that. I had to get that together, had 4 days to do that because we had to get to Mexico in 4 days to do that. And once they gave him the lift off and saying that he was a candidate for it. And the other thing was in the back of my mind, that Sisu that was coming up, can he even make the flight? Was he going to be able to survive the flight? Because he was kind of in bad shape at the time. I have never been out of the country into Mexico before. Am I going to be able to deal with that? Because I knew at that point it was all going to be on my shoulders. And then there was gathering all the data, all the documents and all the mess that I was going to need to do and get it all memorized in that short period of time. Magically, and with God's help, a lot of God's help, all of that took place. All of it happened. And it's made me stronger because at the end of the trip to Mexico, I ended up having to put him in the hospital in Yuma for 36 hours, which basically took away our flight going back home, and had to get our son to come out and drive us back from Yuma all the way back to North Carolina. So that was like 5 days. All of that managed to come about and fall into place, but it was not without a lot of stretching of my abilities and me beyond what I thought I could probably do. And I mean, I was using the shampoo in the hotel to rinse out garments that I would have to rewear because I wasn't planning to stay 5 more days. And, and it was during COVID, so I wasn't allowed to stay in the hospital with my husband. So I was allowed to be in the ER, but I was not allowed, once they admitted him, I was not allowed to be in, which is stupid to me. I mean, I didn't understand that. If you're going to allow me to be in the ER with me, why wouldn't you let me? And I had to check out of the hotel to do that. So here I am with the big suitcase in the ER and all this. And so anyway, I had to go back and check right back into the same place. Thankfully, they let me do that. And, like I say, Sisu, from that experience, I knew that there was probably not much anything else that I could, regarding his health, that I couldn't get through. And so it's happened again when we were on another trip during the holidays that, we're in Tampa, Florida, that I had to call 911 and we had to go to the hospital again. And I just whipped out my documents. I had my backpack with everything that I needed in it. And I said to the people that, the ER, not the ER, but the 911 crew that came in, I said, hey, I'm from out of town. Can I get into the ambulance and ride with you? Sure. So, off we went. And, I was able to bring him home like within a few hours after that, once we were able to get everything on track again. But honestly, it almost doesn't hit me upside the head anymore. So Sisu is what I'm thinking there,
That's great. Thanks
Sisu,
for
I
sharing.
guess.
What about you, Janet? When you hear the word, what do you think about?
Well, I really enjoyed reading, Maureen, your story and everything. That was really touching, just all that you went through. I think about with Mary sharing about her husband, just a couple weeks ago, my husband went to the hospital and I didn't trust the hospital that he was at, never have. And then with COVID, it's made me even more leery of hospitals, but fortunately I was able to be there. And so I didn't leave his side, and some of the stuff that I saw that happened, I could have reacted to. I could have, freaked out, gotten really upset. Some of the things that they did that hurt him more than help him. And, but I felt like God kept telling me, no, don't take this in your own hands. I got it. And if I would have just taken it in my hands, they probably would have just thrown me out of the hospital. So that's it's by the grace of God that I had the strength to hold my tongue, to keep myself from trying to take over. So that kind of reminded me of that. Yeah, so just a lot of things, like you said, we're not a victim, and we become stronger. I know now how to be more assertive, but still be kind and still be calm, if anything were to happen in the future, but hopefully that won't happen. But yeah, so that's what makes me think of.
Okay, thank you. Connie?
Hi. All of the women here are so inspirational to me. and I appreciate the many challenges they've overcome. For me personally, I had to look up the word and research it. It turns out that it's a huge value of the Finnish people, and I've also connected it. Well, why are the Finnish people some of the happiest people on earth? By And so what it is they believe in connection. They believe in helping each other and leaving nobody behind. And that's always it can be resilient if you've gotten tools to be resilient. And I think we need to teach our children to be more resilient by asking them, well, how would you handle this? What would you do? When you saw someone being bullied at school, did you say something, or how did it make you feel? Get them to come up with some answers, and then also demonstrate it in your behavior. So I know we adopted a little boy from Romania, and he was terribly abused, just really from the other kids, because he was quite different, hyperactive and very tiny. And he just had a way about him of no boundaries. In orphanages, they're all together. He would step on feet. He would, get excited and go grab for something. But anyway, he's settled down a lot now. And he's doing quite well. But those early years, I was just going crazy. What are we going to do with him and everything? And then we did get him some services. We got him out of that school, put him in another school, got him out of that school. He ended up at 9 different schools before they finally found the right place. We found the right place. One of the schools, they called me and said, what are your child, he's under the school bus examining the tires. I said, well, that's why he's there. You have 3 people. She said, we have to have 3 people to watch him. And I said, well, I know, but you're supposed to do that. But anyway, I got him out, and he ended up in a Montessori preschool. They took him back a year, and he thrived. They let him explore. They let him play. He had never had toys before. He didn't even know or Romanian language. He only knew orphan language. So getting him at almost 6 to where he is today has been a monumental journey. And now he oversees the school district, 6 schools in the district office for IT, and he's helping us develop an app to help with our smart homes for veterans that uses neurotherapeutic technology to interrupt the panic attacks, the anxiety, the meltdowns, so that they can strengthen that pathway to the hypothalamus and build that up so they can be calmer. We're not trying to fix them. We're trying to make them feel like they have family, they have a home, they have love. Now, we can't do this alone. I'm still looking for someone to help me with technology because I just can't do it. But I am a great researcher otherwise. So that's been, now we also adopted a little girl, and she's 36 now, but she's getting there. She has many challenges. So I hope everybody will pray for her.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. So you were being resilient and
Yeah. And
resilient.
resilient.
The other thing I heard, that you believed in this child no matter what no one else said you were willing to go the extra mile, and now he's overseeing other schools and teaching the things that he's learned. So that's really great.
Well,
Thank
if we
you so
don't
much.
pass on what we know and share it, how can we lift others up?
Yes. That's so
And the best
awesome.
way is our example.
That's really great. Okay. So Irma, what do you hear for yourself?
I love the concept of sisu. I'm currently working on 3 different projects, one in Syria, one in Haiti, and one in Sudan, where I'm dealing with people who are in the forgotten emergencies. I mean, right now we all talk about Palestine and Israel, and we talk about Ukraine, but we forget there's other emergencies that are still there and people are still suffering. So I've been dealing with staff in different organizations on trying to help them, in addition to doing their work, how to manage themselves and the pain that they're going through in the positions that they're holding. So on the one hand, they're responding to communities, but on the other hand, as individuals, they've got feelings, they've got emotions around what's going on, and it's affecting them. And how can they do the work they're supposed to do and still be effective is the challenge that I'm working with. Well, while working with them, I find that in my own family, we're going through some major health problems. My mother's 92. I will be flying back to the US in about 3 weeks' time because she's extremely ill. We're under hospice care, and trying to manage all of that with my sisters while I'm in another country over 3,000 miles away is very difficult because you have to deal with things on Zoom, try to get the emails correct, the understanding of what the doctor said. So for me, it's been, how can I calm and focus on helping the people I need to help that are working, because that's part of the work I have going on, but at the same time, supporting family members who are the ones with my mom at this point as we deal with hospice care, negotiating what needs to happen. So she moves back and forth between Las Vegas, where my family lives, to Los Angeles, where the cancer center is. So there's so much going on. It's how to find the space to kind of step back and take a breath and say, okay, I'm working on this side to deal with this, and on this side, I'm dealing with this other part. But I also have to keep in mind myself, because I run the risk of losing it because everything's happening at the same time. So when I read Sisu, I thought about that, like, wow, that's where I'm in the middle of it. So it was like a lifeline for me because it gave me a way to organize these competing demands in my mind.
Wow. That's amazing. That's a huge share. We're gonna keep this word. Cece. Thank you so much, Maureen. Ruth, so I know you shared earlier about your passion and your willingness to have the government put you in jail because you're still gonna fight. I'm really touched by that. And so yeah, just give us a call. We'll call Mary and get you out of jail if you go in China.
Yeah, but the chance is like 1 in a million, you know. And my donor said, don't flatter yourself, Ruth. You are not even worth of their effort. Yeah, I say, yeah. So I like
so how
to
does this
share
word resonate with you? What do you see in it?
Yes, you know, ladies, I'm so impressed with you guys. I came to this country when I was 24 years old to pursue a postgraduate education. I came from Taiwan. I brought two suitcases with $2,200 in my pocket. And then immediately I have to pay $2,000 to the school, you know, for the room and board and the tuition fees and blah, blah, blah. At the time, it's much cheaper. So I have $200, and so I start working for part-time near the school and blah, 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 blah. So so after the 2000, you know, I decided not to take money from my family. So I put myself through graduate school. Okay. And blah, blah, blah. And then I worked for some Fortune 500 companies, some big CPA firm and blah, blah, blah. And then I started my own business and blah, blah, blah. Then I was retired at age of 44. And then 3 years after that, I started Peach Foundation. That was not my plan. When I retired at 44, I wasn't going to start a foundation. No. Okay, but that's what God wants. Okay, you know, when God wants something, there's a way working into it. You know, I'm not a Christian, but I believe, I do believe there's a purpose. Okay, there's a purpose. So blah, blah, blah. So I look at this word sisu, and I felt all the things I've gone through. Yes, it's a lot of determination, a lot of hard work, a lot of this and that, right? I felt it's not sisu. It's not even a sisu as Irma. Irma, you are sisu. Okay, you are sisu. You hang in there. For me, it's just a persistence and a little whip. You know, I hold it to whip myself. I say, Ruth, don't get lazy. Okay, you got work to do. Okay, and finish your work. Finish and blah, 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 blah. So to me, that is not sisu. And then, but lately, when I'm doing this project at this refugee camp in Thailand, I felt it was quite difficult. It was very challenging. For example, in November, I took 8 donors to visit the site. And after they look at the migrant, the refugee schools, you know, classroom without walls, it's just a big tent with 12 grades, you know, all crowded together. The teachers have to whisper, and the children will sleep on the floor and blah, blah, blah. And I told my donors, my goal is to put the children, this refugee children, to finish the American GED test so they can go to Thai college. And that is my goal for my refugee children, okay? Because they cannot go back to Myanmar, it's war, and they cannot go to Thai school because the Thai government will not let them. And don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. They let the refugee come in, but they will not provide education to the refugee children. That is pure stupid. But anyway, so the only way they can go to college is to finish the GED. And then this 8 people, one by one at the dinner table, one by one told me that is mission impossible. Okay, hopeless. It's a hopeless school. It's a hopeless case. Okay. By the end, I told them, I said, I feel 200% confident. Look at this math, 200%. It's not 100% confident, it's 200% confident. It can be done. But I did not give them the concrete plan how I'm going to do this, because I do not have a plan. But all I have maybe it's the sisu. That is the word sisu. I don't have a plan. I have a sisu. You know, if I have to move here and stay with this refugee children 6 months, if I myself have to do GED and then teach them, I will. Okay. So that is sisu. Thank you very much. Yeah. So then, but the funny thing is, the following day, we went to another refugee school, just as bad. But they have this GED program, only 2 years. And the passing rate is 95%. And then this 8 donors that evening at the dinner table, they told me, oh, this project is doable. It's doable. And I did not want to tell them, I told you so yesterday. No. So now looking back, the highlight of that trip is the first night when I told the 8 donors, I am 200% confident I can do this. We can do this, okay? It's the first day. It's not the second day when this 8 people told me, oh, this project is doable. So thank you so much, Maureen. Find me a word. Sisu, that is a sisu. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
But I have a favor to ask. Because my donor base are like 90% Chinese, I cannot find enough volunteers to go to the refugee camp with me because it's no, they are not Chinese. And my donor, most of them, they cannot love non-Chinese people. I mean, they can love dogs, they can love cats, but they cannot love a non-Chinese child. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. I'm very angry. You know, I'm like sticking my head out to meet the Chinese community. I am ashamed of them. I'm just ashamed of them. So if you know anybody who would like to volunteer in Thailand in the coming summer, July 6th for 10 days.
July 6th. Okay, what's the date? That's the starting date, July 6th?
That's the starting date. All the volunteer meet at Bangkok on July 6th. And then dismissed on July 16th at Bangkok. Yeah, 10 days.
All right.
Yeah. I even waive a donation requirement. You know, I have 2 more English summer camp in China, followed by this Thailand. Guess what? They are all booked. And now there are people on the waiting, and each person have to donate $1,200 to sponsor the children. And they are willing to do so. And they don't want to go to Thailand when there's no donation requirement. No. And don't ask me why.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm
so if
so
you know
happy
somebody,
you enjoyed the word too.
Yeah, so if you know somebody, I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay.
But I have faith. I think.
Yeah, you have a lot of faith. That is great.
I think we need 23 people. Now we have 16. I'm short of 7. You know, I think we will find the 7.
Yes, you
somehow
will.
Yes.
In the next few months.
That's so awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much.
So thank you, girls. Thank you.
Yeah, I see Dr. Honeycutt has joined us. Are you there, Dr. Honeycutt?
Yes, I am listening to you wonderful women. How is everyone? I hope marvelous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yes,
So
indeed.
the word today, I don't know if you had a chance to read the article. The word today is sisu.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a lot of meanings which pertain to all of us: resilient, unstoppable, and doing it in a stoic way, like you do it innately without pulling your hair. Well, sometimes we pull our hair out, but like I'm about to do, or was about to do. It's just an innate gift that we have it as called women of God to do his work. So did you get a chance to read the article?
No, I did not, but I did look up the word.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, the word has a lot of meaning.
It does. It's wonderful.
And it pertains to who you are. So when you were reading the word and its meaning, what you thought about in your life and how that word pertains to you?
Okay, so, when you talk about resilience and all of that, I have to go back to the source of what enables me to be resilient. And that is my deep belief in the Heavenly Father, and who is my source of everything. And I must be very real with you about that, okay? And so all of my life, I have remembered the words of my grandmother. I probably stated it to you before, and I keep repeating it so people understand what motivates me to do the things that I do in the community. And that is, she said, "You're blessed, so you need to give back." Okay, that's just it. God is blessing you. He's giving you certain gifts. Use those gifts, not just to benefit you, but your family, your friends, your colleagues, and everybody that you come into contact with, and everybody in the world. I'm the kind of person, I grieve when I hear about 4 out of 5 young people in New York who can't get food. I want to know, why are we allowing this to happen in New York, in San Francisco, in Phoenix, or wherever you are all? Okay? So the best that I can do is trust in God to lead me through my community projects and through my very small but hearty foundation, the Honeycutt Foundation, to take care of the needs that I see that people in the local community are facing and they need to talk about. So my focus is local. My focus is usually about housing, because I'm the chair of the Citizens Advisory Committee for the Hunters Point Shipyard, where we are attempting to build housing, affordable and market rate for people. That's the biggest project in San Francisco where housing can be built. So my focus is in working with Senator Weiner, Mayor Breed, Thor Kozlowski of OCII, in a special project which has been completed and approved, and that's SB 593, which will bring approximately 6,000 units of housing, affordable housing, into San Francisco. I'm also trying to make people aware, and I'm telling you this because you never know who knows somebody else in San Francisco, okay? Of the huge project, 400 China Basin, where they're trying to find people who were displaced as a result of the horrible situation of housing in the Western Addition. They call them certificate of preference holders, bring them back to the city so that they can own their property, okay? And finally, I'm focused on making sure that people are aware of the 3 affordable housing projects that are being built in San Francisco right now. The last one will be in 2025 in the Hunters Point Shipyard area. So when people say to me, there's no affordable housing in San Francisco, I said, you don't have the information you need, so let me share it with you. I want everybody to have an opportunity to have housing. If I see one more tent with somebody in it, I will scream. Literally, you ladies will hear me wherever you're at, be in Taiwan or Guam or whatever, because we got to do better than this as people. We need to be loving. These people, I've read an article about them. They said we are not trash. We are real people. I don't know how that impacts on you, but that hurts me, that we do not love them enough, that we will do what needs to be done so they can get housing. so that people can have food, so that people can get an education. It's critically important. So I'm driven by that. And through my foundation, I'm having difficult conversations people don't want to talk about. Okay, because we need to talk with one another. I'm finding out we're not even talking one another intergenerationally, or just people to people, just average people. So I'm having another event on April 27th. It's an entrepreneurial event. Been looking up. My daughter is joining me in this. She's a real estate broker with her own company and her staff. But our headline person will be a lady who bought her first house when she was 18 years old, back in the South, ended up divorcing the man she was with, but she had to be an entrepreneur in order to be able to live. Okay. She is, and the panel is a group of really great people, but the idea is that people do not have enough money to be able to live, to pay their bills and all. So what can we do as entrepreneurs to better that situation? Okay. I've got a list of workshops to do as long as both of your arms. Just look at your arms and you'll know the number of workshops that I have. That's how long the list is. I am concerned that we as people of different ethnicities, races, culture, are just not loving one another and talking to one another about our concerns. We have so much more in common than what we could ever imagine. Okay, so I'm sorry for being emotional, but yesterday I attended the funeral of a woman whom God kept with us for 91 years. Wow. And she lived the faith. She lived the faith. When people didn't have a place to live, she opened up her house and brought them in so that they could be whole until they could get themselves together. When her daughter, who gave a wonderful testimony yesterday at the church, said she would present issues that she had to her mother. And her mother said, what does the Bible say you should do in that situation? And she said she kind of got sick of hearing her mother talk about every time she had a problem and she wanted her to give her some kind of advice, she would always refer to the Bible. But at the end of that presentation, that young woman said, if you don't know God, you are missing out on everything. This woman lived her life. The last 3 years, she had cancer. The medication she could not take. So she said, I'm coming off this medication. She told a dear friend of mine, and she related it to me. God kept her here for 3 years, and she continued to do the work. I'm sorry, folks.
That's okay.
That touched my heart to see this wonderful woman who works side by side with me in the work we do at the shipyard and in the work in San Francisco, in the Bayview Hunters Point area. She kept giving of herself, and in return, God blessed her and her family. And so I'm sorry she's no longer with us. I believe she's with the Lord. Yesterday was supposed to be a celebration, but I could not help but think back on her life and how she just gave and gave and gave. She lived the faith. So I'm asking each of you, just live the faith. Keep being the wonderful women you are. When I hear that wonderful lady who's in charge of the Peach Foundation, I don't know her name.
Ruth.
Janet.
Baby Ruth.
Yes.
Baby Ruth.
Ruth.
Baby Ruth.
Like
You Baby Ruth.
Yes.
All
Baby
right.
Ruth.
You my
I'm
Baby
the
Ruth.
last Ruth
Oh,
still
Ruth,
living in
yeah.
the United States. All the
Okay.
other Ruths has passed away.
Okay, honey. And the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. You know, you
I'm
up here
blessed.
begging
I'm
us
blessed.
to go over and help some people. But we've got to break that cycle of us people of different ethnicities not knowing and loving one another. And we've got to break that cycle of working, of being ugly with white people and blaming them for something that they had no role in.
Right.
Can't we just love one another? That's my plea with you today. Keep loving one another.
Yeah.
I love me, Miss Marion.
Oh,
She's as sweet as she can be. Okay, we'll do
I
anything.
love you.
Okay, and I love all of you. Joanne, with her, I even put Joanne's information about forgiveness in my last book. Because forgiveness is huge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prejudge
Yes.
people. You don't know who that person is sitting next to you just because they're a different race or whatever, or they're Jewish or whatever. You know, they got needs. You're there. He's got you there to work with them. I'm sorry. I don't mean to preach, Valerie. Thank you very much. But when you ask me about determination, as long as God keeps breath in my body, as long as he awakens me in the morning and my eyes pop open, I'm going to pray to him for the vision and understanding to be able to do what he is calling me to do that day.
Yeah,
Okay.
you sound like the lady you were just sharing about. That's you.
Yeah.
That is you,
She was like,
definitely.
she was like a mentor to me. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm blessed to have another mentor who's 92 and she's real fiery and all like that. And so these are women who have, they called her a matriarch yesterday. These are women who have passed on good stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, but Valerie, thank you. I didn't mean to take that long, folks.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We
That's great.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Irma, I was listening to your share, and one of the words that always help Marion and I always say it when we get like pulling our hair out and not knowing what we're doing, miscombobulated, I would say, is the word is equanimity. You remember, I don't know, that word gets me through every day.
Yes.
I just go,
Yeah.
equanimity, keep calm, keep calm, keep calm. It's
Mhm.
gonna work out.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah.
I use almost every day.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I think that's another, I love these words. And I think it was Connie that
Yes.
shared, you looked the word up and it means the people in Finland or just,
Mhm.
or people who take care of each other and love each other and no one is left behind. So that's what we need to practice and teach other people too. So thank you for sharing that, Connie. That touched my heart as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mary, you want to give a quick share on Sisu? Do you have
Me?
something? Yeah.
Me? Oh, yes. Basically, I feel as though my whole life has been filled with adversity. And if you look through scripture, I mean, there's all kinds of examples of who was being persecuted, and how they responded. And I just love listening to all of you women and hearing how you are encouraged to continue in your mission and to have the faith that God is going to supply you with what you need. I became an entrepreneur at the age of 18. I have had 5 sole proprietorships. I have worked for Fortune 500 companies. I've been known, to make 9 global semiconductor companies all talk to each other. Those are the people that make the technology that we use today. And it's funny because as you go through life, you think about how to live. Like Dr. Honeycutt just said, do I have the money to make my life function? Do I have the love that I need to function. And many of us grew up in not non-functional homes that didn't have unconditional love. And therefore, it is a whole eye-opening experience with the Lord to learn not only to stop living in fear.
Mhm.
What are you in fear of? And this is the flip side of resilience.
Mhm.
You know, I learned most recently that I was living in a lot of fear financially, because I did become, after doing the globe and doing magnificent marketing things across the world, God, I won't say that, my health was taken away from me.
Mhm.
And I'm a go-getter. Y'all know me. I'm a go-getter, and if you need something, I'm going to get it done. And you talk about in the extreme adversity that we're facing, and with Sisu, when you are challenged beyond not only your limitations, but your self-perceived limitations, stop it. Stop feeling limited. We are not limited beings. We are divine beings created in the image of God. And when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, and everybody said, "How did you do that? How did you do that?" And Jesus looked at them and said, "Not only can you do these things, but you can do more." So you go from a place of living in fear and having a big stop sign that says, "Oh, nope, nope, nope. I'm short 7 people for July, Ruth." No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't live in fear. Don't live in the world of limitations. That's where Satan wants you. God wants you to say, "So what if I'm disabled? So what if I have COVID this week? So what if I'm bleeding? So what if all my friends have deserted me? So what?" Because you know what? I have the belief and the gifts that God has given me to overcome every obstacle, every self-perceived obstacle. I died 3 years ago. I had a molar removed and I went septic and I died, and my spirit went to the ceiling. And maybe some of us have had near-death experiences like that. And you know what? After you go up to the ceiling and you're gone, you're leaving the 3D existence. Is there anything that will pull you back from that? There's 2 things. One is, if our Lord God Almighty decides that you're supposed to be here to give Sisu and overcome all the adversities, do it.
Yeah,
It's a new dawn.
right.
You know, whether we're born again as Christians when we're 10 years old, whether we're born again when we're 25, whether we die and come back like Najia did 7 times, God has a purpose. And we need the resilience, as Maureen has pointed out so well in this article, that we need the determination. We need to have a mindset that is above and outside of the laws of physics.
Yeah. Yeah. Got
And
it.
I applaud all the women here. I love all of you. I love our meetings. I love listening to what everybody has to say. And just know that you are above and beyond the
Yes.
laws of physics. God will
Yes.
work to bring you the 7 people you need. God
Right.
will work with you to bring you the housing that you're trying to make for veterans. Get
Yeah.
rid of the tents. Get rid of the
Right.
tents. Get rid of the poverty. We are
Yeah.
here to make the world better and be encouraged. And sorry, I talked too long.
I love that word too. That's gonna resonate with me like equanimity. It's gonna stick with me. and I think about where I'm stopped, I'm going like, no, I am, you know, is there a way to say it that you are that word? Susuyan, Susuyan,
Sisu, Sisu healing.
Susuyan. I
Yeah.
just made that one up. But that we are resilient and all of the other words that go with it. That was a really great article. And I wanted to date everyone too on our New Orleans project. It's going really well. We've been working on it, trying to see what fit. And the New Orleans team went into the school, Martin Luther King and the Lower Ninth Ward that we're working with the 25 students they gave us. And we are actually, it's like touching my heart. We are actually changing the system and teaching the kids about their innate gifts and their purpose as opposed to traditional learning. And we have several field trips scheduled for them. One is taking them to NASA to looking at future. Now they have a NASA in New Orleans as well, a large campus, and taking them there to look at future careers. And we have a camping trip where we schedule leadership skills. And the school is like, whatever you want to do, whatever works for you, and they are giving, helping with the things that we need. And that's really powerful, because it was a part of my vision, Joanne, when we first met in at Landmark before I even started.
Yeah.
PWIC is to change the school system. And it's like, we actually are doing that. The other thing I had shared with some of you, if not all, that God spoke to me, and I'm doing this, listening to what God wants us to do, want me to do. And he had said, set the world on fire. And I went, wait, is that the devil? Like, what does that mean? Like, set the world on fire. I'm going like, so I had to sit down and listen. And it was to put a prayer group over the Lower Ninth Ward. Just all of the all of the leaders, all of the churches there, the mayor and the community and city leaders, and then have each one of the other councilmen to do the same thing, and then talk to our members who are in different cities and different countries, and to do that. And I have talked to some of them. So I spoke to New Orleans about that. The city has given us a liaison person that works between us and the city, and the Lower Ninth Ward is the area we're focusing on. And I told him about the prayer circle, and have everyone, the fire was having the fire of prayer, and then the fire have everyone hold up a candle and circle, do a prayer, and then everyone circle that group. So he said, well, Ms. Bocage, we do a march from the beginning of the city, Chalmette area, right before, I think that area, Irma, the Lower Ninth Ward, where it starts to across the city on Good Friday. And we do a march and a prayer. And I said, that's great. I said, that's not what I'm talking about, though. I said, I want you to circle the whole Ninth Ward and then have the other leaders to do that. And he said, I'm on it, Ms. Bocage. Whatever you say, we're going to do it. So it's just had that kind of input, that the vision I had of really changing the world, thanks to all of you, of what you're doing, and us helping you to make an impact, that we are actually doing some God's work. Each and every one of us is giving and contributing to changing the world and changing the future. So I just wanted to share that. We have a lot of other things going on, but that was the most recent thing that we're actually working with the city of New Orleans, and they're listening. Whatever we say, they're okay. What else you need? That's huge. That's really huge. But that's through God, because I can't do it by myself. So I'm gonna be a Susudian.
I think there's a Phil Collins song about that.
Oh, Valerie,
Yes.
this is Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
What, is that something? Do you all hear that
No,
ringing?
No,
it's
I
on
don't
your
hear it.
side.
It must be something on my computer then. I don't know what's, it's a very loud beeping. How can you not hear it?
Wow.
It just started.
I don't hear it.
I don't know what to do. I
You
don't
can-
know what to do to.
You can always sign
what?
off and log back in,
Oh,
Joanne.
my husband just said it's in his room.
Oh,
Ah,
Okay.
there we
Okay.
go. You
So,
feel better now.
great.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
No strange noises.
Right. Well,
yeah.
you never did call on me to share about the.
Yes, go ahead.
Did you, were you going to, or?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay,
Of course.
okay, finally he stopped it now. Okay, great. That was really a very loud beep, 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 only real high pitched beep. Oh, anyway. So I really, like the what Maureen wrote, and especially and this word, and how we've talked about it today. It's been really, really great. And what I want to say is that, oh God, I hope I can do this. Hope I can get through this. April the 2nd, this coming April the 2nd, my husband and I will celebrate 57 years of marriage.
Wow.
And thank you. It has not been easy.
Yeah.
It has not been easy. I mean, it never is, but we're so very different. We probably should never have gotten married. But when it came right down to it, each time I said, okay, I'm leaving. Okay, this is it. I just can't do this anymore. I'm leaving. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I would stay. And this paragraph where she gives this definition so describes, so fits completely, when I would give up walking away, because I talked about it with him many times, and the truth is we are happy. We are happy, and it's not like we're still trying to walk out. We're still raging at each other and all of that. We don't do that anymore. He's 88, I'm 80, and we're committed to living as long as we possibly can together, happily, and having a good finish to our lives. And what she says in this definition is so right on. And we've certainly had our times of screaming and raging and getting mad and wanting to leave and all of that. But the commitment to what the stoic, here she says, stoic determination in the face of adversity and tenacity of purpose, and on and on. It so was where we were coming from in our marriage, and we are together and we're happy.
You made it work.
We made it work. We
That
made it,
is,
and God helped us make it work. And the things we were each into, he came from Germany. I mean, we're so different. Most people would say, well, you should never have gotten married, but he came from Germany at age 21, And he grew up in World War II Germany, and he grew up never going to church or anything like that. My father was a Methodist pastor in East Texas, and you simply couldn't have two more different lives than what we had growing up. And then what we got into and decided how to live our lives as adults. But when you are committed and you say, I'm gonna make it work, you know, damn it, I'm gonna make it work. We will do this. You know, you get, that's that stoic commitment to doing it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get through. And I just, this, I'm so glad to have this definition here like this, and that we talked about it today. It just means so much. And I, as far as I'm concerned, God put this in front of me today.
Yeah.
And you know, thank you, Maureen. Thank you very, very much. And Marion. And I just, it really means a lot to me. And I feel good that both my husband and I have stood our grounds, but we've both chosen not to walk out, not to do,
Amen.
but to stay together and stand our ground, but stay together and make it work. And we love each other very much, and we're committed to, you know, to finishing our lives together. Whatever that takes, however long it takes, you know. I am absolutely committed to celebrating. I mean, this is 57 years coming up on April the 2nd. I am absolutely committed to celebrating 60 years of marriage.
Awesome.
60. I want to do that probably more than I want anything right now. I want that very, very much. 60 years. And I hope we still have an organization going, and we're still together and talking and everything, and we can celebrate together. But I wanted to share that very much, because I really, this word meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And
It's one of the words that is gonna stick with us forever.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to go find me a
It's such a
sword.
simple word. Sisu. What'd you say?
I say I'm gonna have to find me a sword so I can put it on my wall and remind
There
me
you
I'm a Sisudian.
A warrior.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, that's good.
Yeah. It's been a really, really great session, a beautiful word. I really love that. Thank you, Maureen. You brought a lot to the table today.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
It's great to hear everyone.
Yeah, you got Dr. Irma calmer than she was with that word. Yeah, so thank you. And I heard Ruth really liked the word too. Well, as Connie did, and I think we all did. So thank you so much for
Yes.
that.
Very much so. Yes.
Yeah. Well, is there anyone that want to see anything else? Connie?
Yes, I wanted to say, first of all, I love the word and everything that everyone said. I have looked at longevity, aging, etc. And people who are passionate about something, they tend and are helping others tend to live a lot longer.
I believe that.
So that's documented by science.
Yeah, that's so great.
So just thought y'all would like to know that.
That's so great.
Thank you. Thank
Dr.
you.
Honeycutt, could you say a quick prayer to pray us out for the weekend?
Certainly. Thank you, Holy Father, for just the opportunity for us to come together, for us to share our concerns, to share our hopes with other wonderful women who love you and are serving you and are doing great things in your name. As we leave this call, please help us, Holy Father, to continue to do your work well, to continue to be supportive of others, to continue to have sisu, to continue to just be what you have called us to be. We are counting on you because you are always blessing us over and over again. So we ask these that you just be with us, just keep loving us, and help us to serve you so that we honor and glorify you in your holy name. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen.
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 I just
Amen.
have one other thing to say, to remind everyone to look at the one main goal. Just one. You might have several goals, but that one main goal by the end of the year that you want to have accomplished. So keep that in mind and keep that in the forefront, and we will be in touch. Thank you. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you need anything, we're right here.
Thank you.
Valerie.
Thank you.
Thank you,
See
everybody.
everybody.
God bless
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Have a
Thank
good
Thank you.
weekend.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you, Maureen, again
Oh,
for the
thank
article.
you.
Very, very much.
Thanks for
Everybody.
working with me on the word. It's stellar.
Bye. Thank you so
You
much.
did it.
Good word. Good.
Oh, so good to see you, Ruth.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a great
So good to,
weekend.
so good to see you, Joanne. You're just radiant today.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
I
thank
think
God
Yeah,
for
that
your
was a great
healing.
share too,
it's been
Joanne.
good. Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah, I
much.
saw when Joanne, when you were sharing, Irma started crying.
She did.
Oh,
Yeah,
She
she
went,
did.
yeah, you saw
It
it?
was so touching. Yeah.
oh. Well, I
See, we
almost
uplift
stopped.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you
It's
for sharing
great.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
See you
look
soon.
fabulous. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Joanne. Oh, that was
It's
just fabulous.
just the two of us.
Sisu,
That
Sisu.
was a good
Oh,
word.
wait, stop recording.